5 things you didn't know about Jaxson Dart and how he grips the football. Now, because this story isn't about hype or highlight reels, it's about defiance. It's about a kid who kept getting pushed out of rooms and found a way back in every single time. From a small town in Utah to becoming the face of the COVID-era high school season, to being told he wasn't the guy at USC and then leaving everything behind to start over. Every chapter built the quarterback that we see now. And it all ends with how he grips the football. So let's get into it. Here are 5 things that you didn't know about Jaxson Dart and how he grips the football. Number 5, the freshman who wouldn't back down. It's freezing in Kaysville, Utah. The first week of high school practice, a 14-year-old freshman walks into the huddle. He's skinny, he's quiet, he's wearing hand-me-down pads that don't fit right, and the older guys are already annoyed. Now, one senior looks at him and says, "Get out of here, freshman." Then he shoves him, and everyone expects this kid to walk away, but he doesn't. He steps right back in, looks that senior dead in the eyes, and he says, "I'm here to take your job." That kid was Jaxson Dart. Now, the coaches later said that moment told them everything they needed to know. He wasn't loud, he wasn't cocky, but he had something that none of the other kids had in the huddle: conviction. And from that day forward, Dart earned everything he got. He started behind guys who were bigger, faster, more experienced. He just outworked them. Now, he'd stay after practice, running, throwing drills with his dad, JD, who was also his coach. Now, JD pushed him harder than anybody else. He wasn't a good job kind of dad. After games, he'd skip the compliments and say, "All right, let's start with the mistakes." Now, that father-son dynamic forged steel. You either crumble under that kind of pressure or you get addicted to growth, and Dart got addicted. And by the time his senior season rolled around, he'd gone from a forgotten freshman to a national name. Number 4, the eye black inspired by Star Wars. Now, you probably noticed it. You can see it in the picture here. That heavy eye black under the one eye, the right one. Now, it's simple, it's bold, and instantly recognizable. That look, it didn't come from a stylist, it came from Star Wars. Who'd have thunk it? Now, in 2022, Dart, he told a story about how he started wearing it after seeing an LSU defensive back using eye black, and he wanted to make something of his own. So he put it under his right eye as a nod to Anakin Skywalker, that scar that he had from the Revenge of the Sith. He said it was symbolic. For him, it meant intensity, a little bit of darkness, a little bit of fire. The same way that Anakin channels that control through chaos, Dart channels calm through competition. And when that streak goes on, his demeanor shifts. His teammates say they can feel it, the energy, the command, the presence. It's not about looking tough, it's about focus. It's his way of saying, "I'm here, let's go." Now, that single streak followed him from Ole Miss to the NFL. And now it's part of his identity, that visual representation of his edge. That same competitive dark side that's carried him through every storm in his career. Number 3, the COVID era breakout that changed everything. Now, 2020 was supposed to be the year that high school football stopped. And for most players, it did. Seasons canceled, fans banned, recruiting season frozen. But Jaxson Dart and his family, they made a bold move. They transferred to Corner Canyon, one of Utah's powerhouse programs, and he still planned to play. Now, he wasn't guaranteed the starting job. He wasn't guaranteed anything. But when the season kicked off, he took over like he was born for it. In an empty stadium under quiet skies, he threw for 4,691 yards and 67 touchdowns. And he ran for 1,100 more. Think about that. Nearly 6,000 total yards, 81 touchdowns in a pandemic-shortened season. No roar of the crowd, no recruiters in the stands, just silence, the sound of the snap, and Dart carving up defenses week after week. ESPN called this one of the most dominant high school seasons of the decade. And another said that this was the COVID era sensation. It was a year that rewired him. It taught him how to focus when the world was in chaos. How do you build his own energy when there's no crowd to feed off? It's why even today he looks so calm under pressure, and he doesn't need noise. He's been playing in silence his whole life. That season also made him a national name. The recruiting calls poured in, and soon this Utah kid who wasn't supposed to make it was heading to USC. Number 2, the transfer fire that forged him. Now, when Jaxson arrived at USC, it looked like the fairy tale was coming true. The California sunshine, the big media market, that Trojans jersey, and right away he delivered. In just his 3rd college game, he threw for 391 yards, 4 touchdowns against Washington State. The hype was real, but then it all fell apart. A knee injury. New coach comes in. Lincoln Riley walks in and brings sensation Caleb Williams from Oklahoma. And overnight, Dart went from the future of USC to the odd man out. Most players would have transferred quietly, but Dart doesn't do things quiet. He went back to that same mindset he had in high school, as if nobody wanted him here, and he said, I'm going to go somewhere where I am, and I'm going to make you regret it. He hit the transfer portal, and he ended up at Ole Miss. A brand new system, a brand new world, no Hollywood lights, just humidity, pressure, and the grind of SEC football. He had to compete again, and this time it was against Luke Altmaier, a hometown favorite. He didn't even know if he was going to be the starter until the night before the season opener. And when he did start, he made it count. He led Ole Miss to 10 wins, broke multiple season passing records, and became the program's emotional anchor. After everything, injury, rejection, transfer, he built himself back up, and that's when he said to that line that defines his whole career, I stopped chasing validation and I started chasing reps. That's the fire that made him who he is, and that's why he keeps evolving. Number 1, his QB grip. Now, this is the part that everybody wants to see, that grip. So let me first describe how do I break down QB grips. I categorize every grip with 3 numbers just to keep it really simple. That first number is where does the ring finger cross the lace? The second number is where does the pinky cross the lace? And the third number is how many fingers cross over the laces. This allows me to be really simple and categorize every quarterback grip in a way that's easy for all of you to understand. Now, I don't always talk about the index finger, but it's absolutely a unique characteristic that I'll talk about if it stands out, like a Terry Bradshaw who likes to put his finger all the way up on top. That's super interesting. Okay. Now, most quarterbacks use what's called a 251. That's the most common. Ring finger on that second lace, pinky near the fifth lace, one finger over the laces. But Jaxson does something similar, but a little bit different. He's got a 241 grip. His ring finger actually hooks over the raised second lace, something that we see from other guys like Joe Burrow, Mac Jones, and old-timer Matt Hasselbeck does this. Okay, his pinky is down near the fourth lace, and he's got one finger over the laces. Now, I love watching Jaxson warm up too. He loves working on all of these different arm angles. He practices having the play break down so he's ready and available to be able to get rid of the ball. Now, from being shoved out of high school huddles to lighting up empty stadiums during COVID, walking away from USC and rebuilding himself in SEC football, under every chapter of Jaxson Dart's story has the same theme: relentless evolution. His journey isn't just about football, it's about obsession, the kind that turns setbacks into weapons. He doesn't wait for things to happen, he builds them. He adapts until the game bends his way, much like Anakin. Now, that's 5 things you didn't know about Jaxson Dart and how he grips the football. Now, click below, subscribe to this channel if you love quarterbacks as much as I do, and you want to see me do more 5 things you didn't know about your favorite quarterback. Also, comment below. Tell me who you want me to do next, and tell me how you grip the football.